Ridgely. You know, I was trying to spell your name a couple of times, and it was R-I-D-G... Wait. It's either E-L-Y or L-E-Y.
Yes, you are 100% correct.
I thought so.
And everyone got that name right forever, because it's R-I-D-G-E-L-Y.
E-L-Y, yeah.
And something happened that changed my life. It ruined my life. Andrew Ridgely from the band Wham.
Oh, no.
He spells his name L-E-Y.
Okay.
And ever since Wham became famous, no one can spell my name right. In fact, there is someone with my name who spells their name L-E-Y. And it's the same email address, just L-E-Y instead of E-L-Y.
Oh,
and
so do you get...
No, I don't get any of his stuff.
Oh.
But so many people have emailed him stuff for me, and they're like,
no.
I sent you the sign.
audition, yeah.
I sent you the script.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't get it. How did you spell my last name in the email? That guy must hate me.
Well, I mean, so I think I spelled it wrong on the file name, actually.
Perfect.
Damn it.
You did. It is spelled incorrectly.
See? I told... Damn it.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. This is.
I second-guessed myself.
Is this live?
Yeah. No, we're not streaming live.
Oh, okay.
It's pre-recorded.
Then you could probably change the file name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
just change it
the
to...
only person that's going to see that are you and I right now, and just me from here on out.
The Jacques Ridgely podcast.
Unless I, pass away unexpectedly, and then someone has to carry on the podcast, of course.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you are violently allergic to cats.
Yes.
So
yeah,
you could spontaneously asphyxiate at any moment.
Could. Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, I don't have the anaphylaxis to cats yet that I know. But I do have that reaction to some fucked up shit, like shellfish.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, shellfish will get you.
I don't know what else, I guess.
Do you have an EpiPen?
Yeah.
You do?
I have several. I have one at work. I have one here. I have one in my laptop bag. Yeah.
Bee stings?
Bee stings are fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I get stung by bees all the time.
Really? Okay.
And, yeah.
It's good for your immune system.
Do you have any allergies?
Any bees? No.
Are you a beekeeper?
Yeah.
Are you an apiarist?
I became a beekeeper at a very young age.
I thought so.
Not on purpose.
You look
not on
like
purpose. I just couldn't get them out of my.
you
couldn't get out of my apartment. Yeah. Allergies. I did when I was in high school. I got mono, and they thought that I was now allergic to penicillin.
Oh.
Because apparently it's very common to have a bright rash appear all over your body if you have mononucleosis, and they give you penicillin. And they used to think that meant that forever, the next time you would get penicillin and something that you would break out again.
Yeah.
And so for years and years, I was just always like, yeah, I'm allergic to penicillin. But then it turns out that's not the case.
Yeah.
So I rolled the dice one time when I got sick, and I was fine.
Took some. And,
so not allergic.
Good.
So I'm sure for any of my physicians watching at home, we're good
to go. All of
go.
your physicians.
We're good to go on the penicillin.
Are watching at home. Yeah. Yeah. What a weekend, man.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes. We did the Whirlwind 48-hour film festival to make Eccentrip.
Yeah.
A thriller.
What a great movie, man. I'm so happy the way it turned out.
Me too. The footage looks great. Tim Davis, our DP, shot the hell out of that thing, and it looks beautiful. Taylor Martin co-directed and produced the whole thing, so it's just it turned out phenomenal.
Yeah.
Your footage is amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Your chemistry with the rest of the cast, the makeout scenes.
With all of the cast.
With me specifically, were probably some of the most erotic that I've shot.
I liked our boudoir scene.
It's a shame that didn't make the cut.
Well, there's always that director's cut coming.
We were trying to stick to NC-17. Mm-hmm. But no,
unfortunately,
the performances were great. The nice thing about this movie is everybody was on the ball. Mm-hmm. Like we had a couple typical production challenges and time is your biggest enemy, of course. But we didn't know what we were going to make when we started out to make it, but as we all wrote it together and shot it together and the performances came together, it turned into a hell of a thriller that I'm exceptionally proud of.
Yeah. And, I mean, right back at you, your performance was incredible. It was, I mean, before we started recording, I told you, I watched it over and over again, and you just popped so much, like, off of the screen. It just, you did pretty fucking amazing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, he's quite a villain, and villains are always the most fun to play because you can just go crazy. With those.
Yeah, but I mean, you did it in a way where it wasn't like too overly obvious, but you were like a character who, you know, as soon as you pop in, and you literally pop in, I mean, you're trying to analyze, like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what is going on? Wait, what? This seems like very carnivalesque and weird and that's exactly what we were going for.
Yes. And for those listening, Eccentrip is about a young couple that goes to this underground rave party in search of an exclusive new designer drug that they're giving out just that weekend from this drug mixmaster from Amsterdam.
Malik.
And, Malik.
Played by
Mike Raish, who did a phenomenal job with all that. In fact, he had these snake eye prosthetic or the contact lenses that nearly killed him.
But, that's right.
He is doing well now.
Yeah.
So they take this designer drug and they just kind of have the funky, sinister trip of a lifetime that sends our lead actress Taylor Martin kind of into a delusional state, and bad things happen. And so I play
shenanigans ensue, as they say.
I play the host of this whole shebang, and he's a creepy guy.
Yeah. I equate him to like an eccentric club owner, agent, manager, just someone who just is so over the top, and so but he's kind of likable in a weird way, would you say? Or is that just me? It's just because I like you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he is likable, especially if you're looking for drugs.
Exactly.
You got to like this guy.
Yeah. I mean, you have all the fanfare and all the flair that.
He's got the flair, and he's a bit of a voyeur.
Yes.
And he likes to immortalize things on film.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, the entire cast and crew, I mean, everybody, it's almost like we can read each other's minds because everybody knew what they needed to do when they needed to do it. I mean, Taylor obviously pulled everything together and pulled a great crew together. They just, I mean, I can't say enough. They just, from one step to the next, I was going to say scene to the next, but from even before we started shooting, everything came together like that.
Yeah, and we had a hell of a crew, and I think the crew count with the cast and crew, I think, was 31, 32, 33 people.
Yeah.
It's just insane and how well everybody worked together as a team.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I mean, it was a long weekend, but very well worth it.
For sure. Yeah, and the nice thing about doing the quick turnaround on a 48-hour film festival is that you do get to have the finished product in your hand by the end of the weekend.
Right.
And we were even looking at the raw footage today because, of course, the idea is to release a much longer cut that has a little more room to breathe.
Right.
We're up against a time limit with the 48s, so the stuff that you would kind of like to stretch out a little bit, but for time's sake, you can't.
Yeah, so there's a 7-minute limit, I think.
Yes,
yeah.
7 minutes plus 1 minute of credits.
Right. And man, to have an entire movie, especially like this one, crammed into 7 minutes, it's doable. Obviously, we did it, but I can't wait for the longer version because there's so much more depth to the story. I feel,
Yeah.
So much more that we filmed.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. That I don't want to lose.
Yeah. We had such a great location.
Yeah.
Such a great location, and it was so well lit, and the way that Tim lensed it, you really can't tell how small the space is that we used to film the majority of it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a much larger venue.
Yeah. Tim's an incredible DP.
Yeah.
And he's listening to us.
And he's in the next room. So and he's my ride out of here.
Yeah.
So,
and Taylor Martin, such an incredible director who is also listening to us right now.
Who's also listening nearby.
Yes.
And is also my ride.
Yeah.
But
so say nice things. Yeah.
But you don't have to not say nice things about Taylor because she, as an actress, first off, she's incredibly collaborative and very easy to direct and takes notes well. But she brings the intensity to every scene, and whether it's whether she's on camera or not, she's giving you that intensity.
Yeah. And
her delivery is phenomenal. She's not afraid to pour it all out on screen, and whether that's in terror or in the throes of passion or just delivering a simple line,
kicking ass.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Or kicking ass.
Yeah.
That's right. We're kicking my ass.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
She's a great. She brings a lot of strength to her performance. Yeah. Very much reminds me of a young Sigourney Weaver in the original Alien.
Mm-hmm.
Just fantastic energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's a great director too.
Of course.
We co-directed this, and she had some great notes for me when I was on camera, and just all around, I was just impressed.
And you did a great job directing too. You really took command and took the bull by the horns, as they say.
Thank you. And I love directing, and I think what makes me successful as a director is that I'm also an actor. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I have a better way to communicate with actors as opposed to filmmakers who don't do that side of things.
Yeah, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I mean, I prefer working with actor directors. You can tell who has been an actor, a director who has been an actor versus one who has not.
Yes.
A lot of, especially on the more amateur side, a lot of non-actor directors, their direction is do it like this instead of giving you a seed to create a plant with. Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Here's this line reading.
Yeah. Like, do it like this is like,
right.
Makes me cringe.
Yeah. And that's something that a good actor doesn't really want. A good actor wants somebody to just maybe give them an idea for a different intention to the scene or different motivation. And it's nice to have different options anyway when you're cutting it together, because sometimes you don't know what's going to work best.
Exactly.
Taylor gave some really great, we had a lot of reaction shots of her that are just her face. And I threw a couple ideas out there that I thought we may not need this, or we may not even use it, but we used a couple, and it just elevates the film.
Yeah, for sure. I can remember your main direction for me throughout the entire night was, keep your hands off her neck. We can't really see. Stop choking her so much. It's so funny that every time I was just like, oh my God, what's my aunt doing there? I don't know.
A lot of times, it is a natural response for people to want to choke Taylor. And I get it. Yeah. And we got plenty of that. And that's why I was like, okay, all right, let's use the other hand.
Yeah. Switch it up a little bit, all right?
What if in this scene you're left-handed?
Just, choke her with your foot or something. Something different, for Christ's sake.
Shooting from this side, so let's choke her with the other. I loved your performance because it's so appropriate, and your chemistry with Taylor was spot on. Like, you couldn't have asked for better. especially like there's a bit of.
She forced me to do this.
I know, and you played it off as if you were a willing participant.
It was tough.
Yeah, I mean, you had to make out with Taylor. Many actors draw the line at that.
I don't know. I don't. I had to go to church and pray about it, and I came out still undecided.
Sure.
And
well, we sacrifice for the art, and
Yes.
it looks fantastic on camera. The scene is a really flashy. I'm really proud of that sequence of the film, and it reminds me. It reminds me, in a way, of the original Basic Instinct that Paul Verhoeven directed.
you mentioned that on set. Yeah.
I really liked that kind of. It's a makeout scene, but it's a thriller, and it's lit in such a way that we lit it red, so you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to capture that.
Yeah. You're so it's coming back to me, the Basic Instinct, and I'm flashing back to the bedroom scene where she's grabbing the murder weapon and then he picks it up and then doesn't use it and then picks it and yeah. Whoa, yeah.
And they shot that a couple ways, so that where she does kill him and when she doesn't kill him. We're talking when Sharon Stone may or may not be murdering Michael Douglas.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, if you haven't seen it since it came out in '93 or '4 or '5.
Yeah.
But
she uncrosses her legs.
Yeah, everybody remembers that scene, the beaver shot.
Yeah.
But the movie also opens with the murder, though.
Yeah.
And that's the scene that it really kind of reminds me of. Just that tension, and it's an elegantly shot love scene.
Yeah.
And we really achieved that because it looks badass.
Yeah.
It looks so fucking good on camera.
Good. Yeah. I can't wait for that extended cut.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's shift gears. Let's talk about you. You're a actor, comedian, director, producer, writer.
All the things.
Yeah.
All the things.
Every word that ends in ER, you are.
Yes.
Motherfucker.
Deader.
No, but tell me your early starts. Like what
Sure.
brought you to entertainment?
What brought me to entertainment, my parents, as I was a kid growing up, always used to take me to the James Bond movies every time they would come out every year. And that was really one of the family activities that I saw how much my parents really enjoyed the films. And I enjoyed the films. And that kind of inspired me to want to be an actor. And I did, of course, the school plays, the thespianism growing up. And my plan was right out of high school, I was going to move to L.A. and chase the dream. My parents were both educators. It was important for them that I go to college. So I went to University of Maryland, and my plan was then to move to L.A. But I got a role.
Born and raised in Maryland?
Yeah. I was born in D.C., and I grew up in the suburbs on the Maryland side there. And my plan was graduate college, move to L.A. While I was still in college, I got a role on a TV show that was shooting in Baltimore, playing a police officer in the ghetto. And I wasn't really sure how to base my character. So I went on some ride-alongs where you just ride around with the cops for a couple shifts.
Yeah.
And it was very exciting. And totally by accident, I fell in love with the job. And I was like, what? This is awesome.
Of being a cop?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I was like, I want to do this for a little bit.
Yeah.
So when I graduated from Maryland, I applied to the police department, got hired, and I ended up working in a really busy urban area.
You were a cop?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wait, for how many years?
13 years.
No shit.
Yes. 13 years.
Wow.
And it was amazing. And
wow.
The D.C. area. D.C. was the murder capital of America.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
rough as fuck, man.
If you want to play cops and robbers, that's a great place. We had a surplus of robbers. So we were really doing real police work all the time. And I loved it. And every time I would get to the point, a couple years here, a couple years there, where I would get kind of bored with it and ready to move to LA, I would either get promoted or assigned to another area that kept me interested for a couple more years. And I got to do everything, and I loved it. I moved up the ranks, and when I left, I was a lieutenant. So it was I got it all out of my system.
Wow.
And I absolutely loved it. And then I moved to LA. And when I moved to LA, I started doing celebrity bodyguard work, because they all hire active and retired and former police officers, because you can all legally carry a concealed firearm and you have a good amount of training. So my first client, I worked for Michael Jackson.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes. I worked for Michael Jackson. I had just moved out there. I had put all my furniture in storage outside of DC and drove across. And so I had an air mattress and just whatever furniture hand-me-downs I could find out there. And I didn't have a bed, and he bought us a brand new bed, So it was pretty awesome.
Wow.
And he was great. He was very eccentric, but he would not say he wouldn't go like, "Hey, Chad."
Yeah.
He would always say, "Yoo-hoo, Chad.
Yeah.
Come over here." So that was pretty cool. I worked for him, and
wow. For how long?
I worked for him for probably 5 or 6 months.
Wow.
And he was living at the Beverly Hills Hotel at the time, off of Sunset. And in addition to just being a hotel, they have houses and bungalows on property. So he was living in one bungalow, and the one right out the front door from that, Angelina and Brad Pitt were staying in there at the time. And then I left that detail just by happenstance 9 days before he died.
Oh, wow.
Which that was horrible, of course.
Yeah.
Then I worked for a couple other clients, and then I got hired at Playboy, and I was one of Hugh Hefner's bodyguards.
Okay.
For 5 years.
At the mansion?
At the mansion. It's a horrible job.
Did you? No, well, a friend of mine worked there.
Uh-huh.
Did you? I don't know if I should say it. I'll say his name and bleep it out if I need to. Rob Hilberger?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
He may have left by. What year was that?
I worked there the end of 2012, October 2012 until Hef died, 2017.
All right. Yeah, he may have left. He was
Butler?
in charge of. No, he was in charge of all the special events that they had there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We had a lot of special events.
Yeah,
The Halloween parties were off the chains.
Yeah.
Thousands of people there, just covered in glitter.
Yeah.
I have some unforgettable memories from that place.
That's funny. He and my younger brother were like best friends in high school, so he had my brother over to the mansion a few times and
nice
took pictures with him in the grotto and stuff.
Yeah.
And so
yeah. We would have an employee
Great
party
place.
every August. Open bar, run of the grounds, and grotto. It's just a amazing experience, and it's all gone now, unfortunately. The new owner gutted the whole place.
Did he really? I was wondering what they were going to do with that. I mean, I know it's dated, but still, it's a piece of history.
Iconic. Yeah. They were hoping to make it a LA City
like a historical
place.
site.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the new owner was able to get ahead of that process before any of that became solid, and just so sadly. Those are just memories, but it was truly an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Then I worked for, ended up working for James Cameron.
Nice.
And I worked for him for several years. And
as a bodyguard?
Yeah.
Wow.
And as a filmmaker, watching him do movies on billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Literally. He was making Avatar 2 at the time.
Jeez.
The movies I make on 0.0001% of his budget.
Yeah, right.
So it was really just an amazing experience. Yeah. And I would use the bodyguard money to finance my filmmaking addiction, which ended up getting me started. I moved out to LA as an actor and a comedian, but I evolved into a actor, comedian, writer, producer, director.
Right.
So I could hire myself to be an actor.
Right.
Because if you just wait, there's a million other people just like me that can all do that same stuff.
Yeah.
So I was studying at Groundlings, the improv troupe out there, where a lot of SNL folks come from, either Groundlings or Second City. And Groundlings is very character-based, so you build a lot of unique, funny characters. And I started making web series with some of those different characters.
That's great.
And a couple of those really took off. And as a result of that, I had some meetings with Fox. And Fox decided they were in the market for a new sketch comedy show. So Fox ended up producing a sketch comedy show in 2010 called The Chad Ridgely Show.
What?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's as far as that went. One episode. But I'm so proud of that work.
Yeah.
And it's still available on YouTube and other places if you wanted to see it. I think it was a little ahead of its time. But I'm so proud of that. And it was so validating for me because it solidified the belief that the stuff that I thought was funny really is funny.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because then now I have to continue chasing this dream forever, instead of go be a dentist.
Yeah, yeah.
But that started me I made a couple short films after that. And once I got the mechanics down of how to produce a film, that set me into feature films.
Yeah.
So I've produced 5 features so far. And there's no turning back.
Yeah, yeah. What are the names of some of them? I know you sent me a link to one.
Yeah, so my first feature was a horror comedy called Massacre on Aisle 12. Mm-hmm. And Massacre has become a bit of a Christmas horror comedy cult classic. Nice. It does better and better and better every year. In fact, we premiered the film here in Buffalo in 2016 at Greg Lamberson's Buffalo Dreams Fantastic Film Festival.
Of course.
It won. It won best comedy feature.
Okay.
Massacre is one of those movies. It's kind of almost a throwback to the '80s sense of humor, which is, as a comedian, was really inspiring to me.
I love the '80s. I love the '80s humor.
Yes, yes.
Very edgy.
Very edgy.
Not a lot of stuff you can do today.
That's so true. And what happens today is people either love the film or they hate the film.
Of course, yeah.
Production value is great.
Best films.
But it's the humor that some people are just embrace or they're going to find off-putting. Yeah. The nice thing about that cast is that's one of those movies where you look back now and you say, oh my gosh, they were all in this movie together, which is great. We had William Mark McCullough, who starred opposite Tom Cruise in American Made. We had Jim Clark in it, who starred opposite Keanu Reeves in The Whole Truth. We had Melissa St. Amand, who was a series regular on Netflix's Ozark. I did the Tarantino film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and we just had a fantastic cast that it's one of those gems that that people will find and be like, whoa, I can't believe they were all in it. The next feature that I did is another horror comedy called 6:66 p.m. And that one is Massacre is about a new employee's first night on the job in a hardware store, and they discover a dead body and a duffel bag full of cash, and so they're all right.
So what do you do?
Keep the money, or do we call the police? And then they get locked in the store and people start dying.
Of course.
We shot that in an amazing location in Savannah, Georgia. It was a 100-year-old hardware store that
cool.
It took up about a whole city block, and it was about 4 stories tall, and it was built in such a way that the original owners, whenever an adjacent business went out of business, they would kind of take it over and knock down a wall. So it was it was like a maze in there, and it was a great set. Yeah. Then we shot 6:66 p.m. outside of Atlantic City, New Jersey. And that one's about a team of ghost hunters who produce a reality TV show, but they fake it all. And they go to this ranch that they're going to do their next episode at. But it turns out it really is haunted by the ghost of a deranged serial killer.
Of course.
So they do a seance and somebody comes back to life and the murders begin.
Nice.
And we shot that one in 2016. And that one also premiered at Buffalo Dreams in 2017.
Very cool.
And won best comedy feature.
I have to go back to Massacre on Aisle
12.
12.
Yes.
Yeah. And you mentioned the 100-year-old hardware building, which is I'm picturing it in my head right now. And I mean, because you see all the stuff on my walls and stuff, all the old hardware advertisements and stuff.
Yeah.
I fucking love that shit. I mean, I can't imagine being in there and seeing all the old, not only the architecture, but like probably tons of old advertising and old tools and old everything in there.
And the best part about that film's location to me was the elevator. There was an elevator that went up all 4 floors, but it was just a platform on a lift with a rope.
Just open.
Just completely open all the way around. If you came up to the elevator door on each floor, it was just barn doors.
Yeah.
That you could just go right over.
Oh, yeah. No OSHA back then. No safety regulations.
None at all. And the thing sounded like at any moment ascending on that thing could be the last moment of your life, which was perfect because I said, as soon as I saw that, I said, okay, we have to kill somebody with this.
Oh, God, yeah.
And so there was a kill that was rewritten, and it's my favorite kill in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because we have somebody that falls down the elevator shaft, and then I play the crazy guy, the crazy assistant manager, who's just a jerk at the beginning, but then he goes on this kind of a drug-induced trip that makes him this.
Wait a minute, are you being typecast here?
I'm sensing a theme here in the development.
Yeah.
And then the person is in the bottom of the elevator, and I can to come in and hit the button to bring the thing down, and we just smoosh the guy.
Smush.
And then body parts come around the side and blood splatter.
That's awesome.
It's fantastic.
Well,
and it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Well, of course it is. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? You mentioned having to rewrite a scene because of that elevator, which is very important to people who don't know and don't make movies, that sometimes you run into, like problems to overcome, but also sometimes you run into really cool shit that you want to incorporate into your film that you haven't anticipated, in the writer's room, right? And how often have you encountered that, would you say?
If you get a happy accident like that, I think it's... We had that for sure on Massacre on L12. We had that. I want to say we had that on this shoot.
Definitely, and I can think of a couple different places. The shot of the grate where Taylor has her hands and face up against it, and she's yelling through it.
That's my favorite shot of the film.
Mine too. I can't stop talking about that. And she had talked to me on the set because she wasn't sure, if it was good or not. And I'm like, that's my favorite. That's the best shot. Yeah. That's amazing.
I remember when Chris found that bathroom. We shot in this bathroom. It's in for those who don't know, we shot it in this building that's
the NAC.
The NAC.
It's called the Niagara Arts and Cultural Center.
Yes. Yeah. And it's about 200 years old.
In Niagara Falls, New York. Yep.
And it is an amazing location visually.
And I think it was a school. Yeah.
It was a school, a sanitarium.
Was it a sanitarium?
I don't know, but it should be.
I was going to say, yeah. Night it was.
They've got plaques on some of the lockers.
I saw that, but I didn't read it.
This was Joe Smith's locker, class of 1919.
Oh, no shit.
Or
Really?
1918. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And it felt like parts of the building had not been cleaned since 1918, but it was perfect for what we were doing. It was fantastic.
Raina poked her head in. Oh. Sorry. Yeah.
And then we shot the...
She likes coming in and just hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
Is it... Do you have room or no? You can come in. Come on. Good girl. Okay, lay down.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Lay down. You can lay down.
So I walked in that, and because Taylor actually literally injured her knee in filming this movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So she couldn't run. So now the chase scene is a crawling scene. And when I saw that grate in the bottom of that door in this old 150-year-old bathroom, it was like, this has to be.
Yeah.
This has to be in the movie. And
that was your call.
Yeah. And it just
good
looks so
call.
So good.
Good call.
So good. We got Tim in there, and he said,
that should be the movie poster.
I think so.
Seriously.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
You
hear that, guys? Movie.
It's 2 Human Centipede.
The movie is not any Human Centipede.
No.
It is.
I like that great shot.
Yeah. It's a great shot.
It's that great. It's a GRATE
It is a great shot.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be my favorite shot of the film.
Yeah. But same. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I love it. Good call. Yeah.
My next feature was Hollywood Comedian, which is it's like a docu-style film about
what year?
We shot that in 2019, and it's about the underground comedy scene in Los Angeles. And then
There's an underground comedy scene.
There's an underground comedy scene in Los Angeles.
For real?
Not literally underground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all above ground.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. It's probably
Then I did
second floor or third floor.
Self-Isolated. And Self-Isolated is a suspense thriller about a woman who awakens from a coma to find her caretaker husband missing. And it's about her putting the pieces together of what's wrong with her, where's her husband, and along the way she encounters an unusual neighbor who may have something to hide.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he has something to hide.
Oh.
And then it's off to the races.
Is that neighbor you?
It is not. I'm actually
What?
the nice guy in this movie.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm the loving, doting, missing husband.
I don't want to watch that. I want to see you get nuts.
Yeah.
That's just,
Well, then you'll like the next movie, which is
Okay.
called Murder Van. And Murder Van is currently in post-production. We shot that last year out in L.A., and that's kind of like a combination of James Wan's Saw meets M. Night Shyamalan's Split. It's about a serial killer in a van who abducts these two girls from a gymnasium as they're closing up the gym. And the whole back of the van is outfitted with all these homemade compartments, some visible, some secret compartments. And he chains them up in the back, and they have to, they listen to his commands over a speaker in the back, and they have to complete these challenges, kind of Saw-esque challenges, and also find a way to escape before it's too late.
Yeah. Wow.
And and I play the serial killer, and that's where the split aspect comes in with the personalities.
Okay. And wait, so the movie before that,
Self-Isolated.
Self-Isolated. Does that, when you said that, I thought, oh, you made this during the pandemic.
We were going to make Murder Van in mid 2020, early 2020, like the spring, and pandemic happened, and I was in such a mood to still make something, and I wanted to capture the experience that everybody was having at the beginning of the pandemic, which was the uncertainty. But I didn't want it to be about that, so I wrote a movie that takes place under the backdrop of the pandemic, but it's not about the pandemic. It's just a phenomenal thriller about a woman searching for her husband. But it is under the
very
backdrop.
suspenseful.
It gave us the opportunity to kind of touch the human experience of the pandemic, because she is isolated. She's by herself. The apartment building she's in is abandoned. Everywhere she goes outside is abandoned. And we have some great shots on PCH, on the beach, on piers out there that are just completely abandoned. So we captured that essence and made it into a thriller. I'm super proud of that film. It's one of the films where when I watch it back, there's not a thing in it that I say, oh, I wish I had done this different.
Wow.
I wish I had shot this
a
different way. So I wrote that.
That's rare.
Yeah, it is exceptionally rare.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure that I was happy with it.
Good.
I wanted it to be something that I was going to be proud of. And unlike a 48 where you have a deadline, I was under no time constraints to get it done. So I had enough time, and I had a great team to shoot it. We did a phenomenal job making this movie with a very small casting crew, and it was during the pandemic. And we even had a 90-year-old actress in the film. And the whole time we were adhering to the COVID protocols and all that stuff. In fact, that was my meter of how well we were doing our COVID protocols. Was if the 90-year-old lived.
She was your canary in the coal mine.
And she did, and she's still kicking.
Good.
That we did a screening out in L.A. at Culver City Studios, and she came out and watched it, and she was just so happy with the performance.
Good. How cool.
So that one is actually it had a very long festival run, and it did exceptionally well. And we just made delivery to our distribution company, and hopefully we'll have it out in the next couple of months. I hope for February, honestly. because February is the best month for horror film releases.
Is it?
Yes. Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, February is the best month for horror films.
Very cool.
And Murder Van is in post, and that one will be out. Who knows? But as soon as we get that done. But I love the imagery that we've captured for Murder Van.
Yeah. Chad Ridgely, thank you so much.
Absolutely, Paul. I'm grateful to have had the chance to work with you.
Definitely.
Fantastic actor. Great writer.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed working with you.
Thank you. I appreciate
Love to do it again sometime.
Definitely. Yeah.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're the best, man. I'm glad we've become good friends, and I want to work with you again. Please.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Eccentrip 2.
Eccentrip 2.
The Reckoning.
That's got an amazing ring to it. All right, we'll wrap it up there and say goodbye. Thanks,
awesome.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah.